Friends, do you realize that you are not defined by where you start off in life? In fact, success, however you want to define it, success is all about how you shape your future with the right habits and the right mindset. Today, I want to reveal my 18 success secrets from my personal playbook that have helped me achieve my success before the age of 40. Now, for some of you who follow me on Instagram, you have seen that my son and I have been training for our elk hunt. In fact, 2 or 3 times a week, we ruck. We put on this backpack with heavy weight in it, and we walk about a 2 or 3 mile loop here through the mountains of East Tennessee. Whenever I began this training with him, it was all about this idea of we're gonna get our bodies in shape. What I quickly discovered as a dad is I'm now able to spend an hour to an hour and a half with my 16-year-old son on a common goal, and we have talked. It has been so fun. So 2 or 3 times a week, we're asking questions of each other. Now, I'm on camera all the time. I'm on stage, I'm talking, and people often ask me the question, Justin, how did you achieve what you achieved? And I can answer that question pretty quickly. But it wasn't until a few weeks ago my son looked at me and he said, Dad, how can I be successful? What a question. It's a question that is so simple to say, but so hard to define. And I found myself saying, let me think about that for a little bit, Justice. That's a great question, man. Why do you ask that? He told me his definition of success, and we began talking through it. And I've been thinking in the back of my head, what would I want to tell my children about success? So today I want to take a different approach. Today I want to address my children and your children. If you have children at home, I've designed today's episode in such a way that you can share this with them because they're thinking this way. They're thinking, how can I achieve success? Is it what I see on Instagram, or what is success? So today's a message from a dad to my 3 children. I believe that I can share the things that I learned as a teenager and that I apply to my life to help lead me and my family to what we define as success. With that being said, here we go. Savannah, Justice, Jude, man, I'm proud of you guys. It's the desire of every single parent that I know for their children to do better, as Jude often says, just do better, to do better than what their mom and dad achieved. And you have such an opportunity ahead of you. The world literally, as they say, is your oyster. Today, I want to share some insights that I've learned over now 30 plus years of being a business owner. Now, look, you guys know I wasn't born into money. In fact, we were poor with a lot of O's in there. We were poor and we didn't have much direction, but Pops and Nana did the very best they could to teach me principles as a teenager. So I want to walk through the 18 principles that I learned that allowed me to reach a status that I never dreamt was possible. You see, I wanted to be financially independent before the age of 40. I did not dream that I'd be a decamillionaire before the age of 40. But I'm telling you, friends, these 18 principles that I'm fixing to walk through in very quick fashion, if you can apply them to your life, if your kids can listen to this, your teenagers, friends that you love, if they can understand these principles, it will take it to the bank. It will change their life for the rest of their life. Look, success does not come from luck. It comes from following proven principles. It doesn't come from talent. It comes from following proven principles. These principles I'm going to go over today are biblical principles. They're found even in Marcus Aurelius' Meditations, his book Meditations. I read them in Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. I read them in the Bible. I read them in so many different books. The same principles are always there. It's about execution. There are a lot of people, guys, who are smarter, a lot smarter than your dad and mom, who haven't reached the level of success that many say we have. So let's begin with the very first success secret is this: setting goals. You hear me do this all the time. In order for me to achieve something, I have to have a crystal clear thing that I want to accomplish. I want to take you way back. I brought something to the studio today on camera that I've had for 30 years. I was 15 years old and I was with Pops and we were at the Turkey Rod Run in Daytona Beach, Florida. We were actually in the middle of the Daytona 500 Speedway and we were looking at antique cars over Thanksgiving weekend. I can remember like it was yesterday. And we walked upon this particular car. Now, I'm holding in my hands a die-cast model of a 1964 Shelby Cobra. You guys have seen this. You've heard me talk about the Cobra, the blue with white racing stripes. Literally, I'm holding it up right now on YouTube. For those of you who are watching me on YouTube, this is the car my kids have heard me talk about forever. The reason why I want to bring this in, just as an example, to try to drive home some of these points. You see, in that moment, I walked upon this car and it was beautiful. I mean, we saw lots of old cars, but this car caught my attention. And I talked to the guy, the owner of the car, and I said, "Sir, how much is this car worth?" He goes, "This car is over $1 million." And I can remember what I said next. I said, "I'm going to own that car one day." My dad said, "Yes, you will." It was in that moment that this goal sprouted. I have had this goal of acquiring this particular car now for 30 years, and it has sat on my desk for 30 years. It motivates me. You see, a goal is something that is specific. It is clear. It keeps you from drifting. It holds you focused. For me, this little car has literally, as you've seen it, for 30 years sat in front of me as I work, because it's a goal that I have. Now, once I set the goal, my second success secret is this: have clarity in my vision. You know, once I set a goal of achieving this car, I realized that successful people just don't aim for this car. They have a bigger vision. What will this car do for me? How will it impact my life? How will this validate the very fears I have internally? You may say, "Well, I want a business that's going to do $20 million a year in revenue, $100 million a year in revenue." Great. What I set with a goal of this little car that I'm using as an example today, I saw a bigger vision on the steps I had to take to achieve this goal. The steps were not easy. They were not, I've got to run out and figure out how to get $1 million. That's not it. It was, I have a dream of earning this car. This is my goal. The vision is to be able to afford this car, cash, no debt whatsoever, and be able to play and let you guys drive this thing around with grandkids in it one day. That's the vision. So it's not just about obtaining the item. It never is an item. It's about what can the item do for you. That biblical principles that I often talk about, the biblical principles work. That success is achievable by all. So that's the clarity of my vision when I look at this little car. One of the things I often see people fail in is they dream so small. Your vision has to scare you. Your vision should be so large that it's going to guide you and keep you motivated to that goal. So you got to have a clarity of vision. Now, the third thing I've learned is decisiveness. Anytime I've failed in business, anytime I've failed as a dad, anytime I've failed as a husband, anytime I've failed as a friend, it's because of hesitation. Oftentimes we know exactly what to do. I believe that I am guided by God Almighty. I believe that He's created me and He's created you for something that only you can do. I believe that with all my person. And I believe He's equipped us to accomplish that mission, or He's preparing us for that mission He's prepared for us. And oftentimes we face something, a decision that needs to be made. If we approach it with fear, we're not decisive. We're not making that decision in an authoritative manner. We end up making mistakes. We end up getting fearful. That's not the way we are designed. Scripture still says that the gates of hell will not prevail. In other words, we should be on the offense, carrying out the very mission that God's given us to do. And you're not going to be able to accomplish that unless you are decisive in your mission, in your vision, in your goals, in every decision that you have. So don't be afraid to make decisions. Yes, you're going to make mistakes. Holy cow, you're going to make mistakes. That's part of the process. Keep making the decision and trust your judgment. Now, the fourth thing I've learned is time management. Whenever I begin scaling companies, whenever I begin learning success, I've learned that time is the most precious commodity that I have. That's why many times I'll block myself away for vacations where everything's off. Or that's why you'll see me for a week solid working 90 hours for that week so that I can have the next 3 or 4 weeks of leisure. You've seen that. Time management is vital. Whenever you can prioritize the highest impactful task or things that you need to do to help you reach your vision and your goals, when you can prioritize those and get rid of all the distractions, then you become hyper efficient. See, time management is not about doing more things. It's about impacting your vision, your goals, your mission with the most efficient use of your time possible. So time management is huge. Now, in order for me to be a good steward of my time, I've learned that I focus on the things that I'm hyper good at. Anything that I'm not really good at, you've seen me do this. I want to get it out to the team or hire somebody else to take care of it. There are things that I'm okay at that I'll try to do, and you've seen how that works oftentimes, end up costing more time and money, me having to repair the very thing I broke. If you can understand that your time is fleeting. I can remember just yesterday, I was 15 years old whenever I got this little car. That was 30 years ago. 30 years ago, I got this little car. And it was just yesterday. Time flies so fast. If you want to be successful, you got to understand that you only have 24 hours in a day and that you need to be hyper efficient with your abilities, your God-given abilities, to hone in on the things that He's equipped you to do. And everything else, get rid of. Now, the fifth thing is self-discipline. You've seen this in action in my life. Could I have gone out and bought this car years ago? Absolutely. Yes, I could have. But my vision is to have this thing whenever I'm completely debt-free. My vision is to have this thing whenever this is play money and our financial future was secure. That was my vision. But it would not be able to even have this conversation had we not been disciplined. We watched people as we were building the company. We watched others take exotic vacations, drive big fancy cars, live in big fancy houses. And we drove around the prayer mobile, as we called it, the Ford Excursion 2021 model diesel that we held together with duct tape and love. It was because of self-discipline that we knew exactly what our goals were, what our dreams were. And everything else had to come into subjection to that particular goal. Self-discipline, guys, is being disciplined about what you know that needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? How many times have you heard me say that? Get over it. It's time. You know this needs to be done. I don't care if you don't want to do it. Let's do it because it has to be done. That is self-discipline. That's my fifth success secret. My sixth success secret is this: visualize what you want. I'm giving you a real life example here. The reason why I've had this little crazy car on my desk is because it sits in front of me and every single day I look at it. I'm visualizing what I want. Now, you've seen us where we've had houses, where we've had other things that we visualize. You've seen me take pictures in my own vehicle right near where the speedometer would be. You can see it there. Man, thank God I didn't get any tickets while we did that, but you see me visualize things. You see, in order for you to achieve something, you have to set your mind to it. And you have to believe it is possible. You have to picture your success, what it looks like, what it feels like, what it sounds like, what it tastes like. It's got to become so real in your mind that you think you can. Because as you know, if you think you can, you're right. And if you think you can't, you're right. See, your mental belief will drive your actions. And one of the easiest ways to drive yourself to success is to create a visualization of what you desire. In my business, I always had a number. You've seen that number on my desk. Many people didn't know what it meant, but it was a revenue number and it was a net income number that I had on my desk. And that was the visualization for me in my business. So visualization is important. What do you want? Create a visual roadmap for your mind to say you can achieve this. Number 7 is use a little common sense. God gave you a brain. It's between those two ears on your head, behind your eyeballs, I think most of the time. He gave you a brain. And he's giving you experiences in life. It's okay to trust yourself. It's okay to reflect back and say, you know what, I made a mistake. I don't want to make that mistake again. And use experiences to just use a little bit of common sense. Don't look like the cow looking at the new gate, as we often say. You've seen it. You've seen how a calf will walk up and look at a gate and twist its head different ways, trying to figure out what it is. Use a little common sense and it'll serve you very well on your path to success. Number 8 is one that I've never had a problem with, but it's one that many people do, and that is don't be afraid to take risk. Savannah, I know you want to jump out of an airplane. You've seen me do it. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to start a business. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to get out there and do something daring. Take a risk. There's always fear. That's the enemy trying to prevent you from living out your very best life. So many people miss their dreams because of fear. God created you fearfully and wonderfully. He gave you a desire. He put desires in your heart. And if you allow the enemy to captivate you, to hold you because of fear, you're never going to achieve success. you're never going to achieve it. Be willing to take risk. Well, Daddy, what if I lose it all? Then you lose it all. Who cares? Who cares? God's already said, don't worry about what you're going to eat, what you're going to drink, what you're going to wear. If he's going to feed the little birds, he's going to take care of you. Be willing to go out there and just put it all on the line and fall and fail often. Because in each of those failures, each time you take a risk, you're that much closer towards your goal, toward your dream, toward your success. So take a risk. Do something daring. Do something that scares you. Get outside of your comfort zone. It's there where you'll grow. Now, when you're outside of your comfort zone, it's going to get hard, which comes to my 9th success secret, and that is you've got to persevere. Even when you feel like you want to give up, don't give up. Whenever you set out this big, hairy, audacious goal, when you get this mindset that, hey, I'm going to accomplish this, whatever this is, it's going to get hard. That's an understatement. It's going to get dadgum hard. It's going to get to where you're going to be crying sometimes. You're going to be so angry, you want to you want to choke something. My very first few businesses, I can remember difficulty. You've lived through some of the difficulty. Man, it's hard. Life is hard. Life is good. But success will never be achieved if you quit, if you don't persevere. Whenever life hits you, get up and let's go. I've quoted this verse often in our family. You guys know this, that the gates of hell will not prevail. Jesus himself said that. What that means is God has designed you for a particular mission. He's gifted you and equipped you for you to accomplish that mission. The gates is something that's supposed to prevent you from accomplishing that mission. You are meant to go through the gates. You're meant to be on the offense. You are meant to persevere towards your goal. Success is achieved by not giving up. Persevere. Don't quit. Keep going. Now, as you persevere and as you grow and as you move forward, you've got to continue, number 10, to continue to develop yourself. You know, I love to read books. In fact, most millionaires I know read books. And many broke folk, they don't. There's something to be said there. I love to read books. And you know, when we go on trips, we're going to listen to audiobook. In fact, Justice is about to listen, as we drive across the country, to 3 different books. We're going to listen to Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. We're going to listen to Dave Ramsey, Total Money Makeover, and we're going to listen to Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad all over again. And I know you've heard all these before, but we're going to listen to them again. Why? Because every single day is a new day and you can learn something new that day. Because something that no one can take away from you is your knowledge. They can't take that away. They can't take away that as you gain knowledge, you gain wisdom. And as you gain wisdom, your character grows, your person grows. So never stop learning. That's why we homeschool you. That's why Mom and Dad made the intentional decision almost 2 decades ago to say, hey, we're going to homeschool our kids because we wanted to develop in you a desire to learn, to love to learn. This personal journey that you're on this quest of success, is a lifelong journey of personal development. As you continue to develop yourself, what you're going to find is you're going to need, number 11 success secret, is you're going to need a mentor. I call them coaches. But you're going to have somebody to come alongside you and coach you or mentor you. In my early days, I had 5 men. You know these men. I'm not going to call their name because I'm on air right now, but you know these men. You saw them in my wedding pictures. They're my best friends' fathers. You've met many of them throughout your life. These men impacted my life. And then as I came in the business world, you've seen the coaches. You've been in the meetings with the attorneys and the CPAs. You've been in the meetings with our coaches. We've had coaches stay in our house with us. And you've been around the tables. They're coaching me and they're pouring into me. You've been around our fit coaches, our dietitians. We've had so many coaches or mentors. Why do you think we travel to see the old country folk? You know, the guys in their 60s and their 70s, because I want you guys to see that, hey, I still need mentorship. I have to be open to someone to pour into me. And if I don't, I'm not going to reach my success because the journey that we're on is hard. And somebody else has already walked this journey before us. If I can learn from their journey, their experiences, it can help expedite my journey. That's why so many people pay me thousands of dollars per month, because I've already accomplished what so many people want to accomplish. Being able to start and sell 7 businesses for 6, 7, 8, 9 figures is unheard of. And that's why when someone calls me and say, hey, Goodbread, I need help, man. I'm stuck. My business isn't growing. My net worth's not growing. I can't get freedom. I'm like, okay, I can show you how to do it. I've been there. The reason why they want to pay me, the reason why I'm able to feed our family the way I'm able to feed our family is because I act as a mentor. But I still have mentors. So you need a coach along the way. That's number 11. Number 12 is always pursue excellence. Always pursue excellence. You've heard me say this as we teach you as a young kid, clean your room. And I'd walk in and I would say, what if Jesus walked into the room right now? Would you call this good enough for Jesus? Or what if the President of the United States walked into your bedroom right now? Is this good enough for him to see? Whenever we used to stack the wood, as we often do now, we stack the wood for the wood pile. Hey, can the President of the United States look at that and say, that's a really good job? Why do you think my verse is, seest thou a person diligent in their work, they'll stand before kings? Why is that so vital? Why have you heard me say it over and over and over again? It's because so many people settle for mediocrity. They settle for him-ha. They settle for the average. And guys, mediocrity scales exponentially. It's only with excellence are you able to achieve success. Scripture says, and whatever their hand finds to do all to the glory of God. Period. Everything you do, you should be trying to achieve the very best that you know how to do. And if you do that over and over and over, you'll never go without. You'll learn how to solve people's problems. You'll learn how to meet them where they are and be a solution for them. And guess what? They'll pay you for it. Pretty crazy. Everything has to be done in light of excellence. Number 13 is this: work hard, work hard, work hard. There are 24 hours in the day. There's no reason why you can't work 10, 11, 12, 15, 20 hours in your 20s and 30s. No reason why you can't. See, whenever you're young, you don't have money, but you have time. You often don't have any skills, but you have time. So what are you doing? You're trading your time for money and skills. As you get older, you often have skills before you have money. And so you're trading your time and skills for money. And there'll be a time whenever you have money and skills that you're trading for time. And there'll be a time when you have money and time that you're trading for skills. It's just the way life works. You see, you've seen me work my fingers literally to the bone sometimes in efforts to grow toward our goal. Don't be afraid of hard work. Do you realize that work is a blessing? Whenever God put Adam and Eve in the garden, he said, work, and it was good. Work, take care of it. Work is a privilege. Work is a privilege. So many people around you are going to badmouth work. Oh, I got to get up and go to work today. No, look at it as I have the opportunity. Have the opportunity to go out and serve somebody today. And whatever your hand finds to do it with all thy heart unto the Lord and unto men. Be diligent about your work. Work hard. As Pop said, and you've heard me say this 1,000 times, son, you're a Goodbread and no one outworks a Goodbread. You've seen that. And I've trained you guys, and we trained you to work hard and work smart. But as we're working, there has to be urgency. And that's my 14th key to success. Why do you think I often say, figure out how to do it quicker, smarter, faster? Because so many people get in this mundane rut of I'm working hard, but they never look for improvement. When opportunities come our way, what we're often looking for is how can I make this more efficient? So I've developed habits in business on how to make things more efficient. That's why whenever we do our house cleaning, I'll say, okay, if you're in the living room, look around and find something that's in the living room that doesn't belong there, take it to that room. So let's say you found a piece of clothing, probably Justice's clothing. You're gonna take it up to Justice's bedroom, and then when you drop it in Justice's bedroom, you may see a dish there, or in his case, a candy wrapper. Grab the candy wrapper, it doesn't belong there. Carry it down to the trash can. And whenever you're in the kitchen and see in the trash that needs to take the trash out. And if everybody is doing that within the family, we know that we can clean the house in about 15, 20 minutes and have it spotless. Why? Because we're working hyper efficient. Whenever you're working in that one room, as we've shown you and we've proved to you, the house doesn't get cleaned as fast. So we've got to act with urgency. We don't procrastinate. We don't wait for the perfect moment. Whatever we find to do, we do it then. And we do it with efficiency and urgency. That is the key to success, friends. 15, and you know this is a big one for me, and I'm getting more intense as we go on here. Number 15 is this: take responsibility for your actions. You and you alone are responsible for your future. No one else. You cannot blame your mom and dad. You cannot blame your brother and sister. You cannot blame your coworker. You cannot blame the government. You cannot blame anybody. You are responsible for you. Take responsibility for you. No one is holding you back. God has given you a mission. He's given you a calling. He's given you God has given you a mission. He's given you a calling, and He's gifted you for that particular direction. You and only you have to take responsibility for that. And you have to realize that you're going to give an account of that one day before God. If you take responsibility and don't blame others, it's no one else's fault. It's yours. Remember Uncle David? Uncle David used to say it this way. He would say, Justin, there's two things in life, results and excuses don't count. That's why whenever I hear you make excuses, it's like, no, stop. You are responsible for you. That's why I often say, yes, sir, no excuse, sir. When you say you're going to do something, you do it. I don't care if it takes you all day. You do it because you have to take responsibility for you. If you can learn that, guys, success comes easy. Now, I get to a point here that I'm passionate about. The reason why I haven't defined success is because success is not about money. I often thought forever it was about, hey, how can I get $1.5 million to buy this Shelby Cobra? How can I get $5 million in the bank? And I always had a number in my head. And to some extent, it still does because it's a way that I can measure success. But success is not about money. Success is ultimately doing what God has designed you to do. And you're going to know that whenever you realize number 16 is this, whenever you fall in love with your work. When you do what you love, success comes easy. Money comes easy. Fame, whatever it is that you're after, if you fall in love with what you do, if you fall in love with your work, you'll never work a day in your life. Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, what's he say? Very first principle, the rich don't work for money. Why? Because they find that they get enjoyment in what they do and they're not really working. I am not working right now. I am literally pouring my heart into a microphone for you so that you can glean a little bit of wisdom that I've had over the last 30 years and so that you can achieve success, however you're going to define that. And ultimately, it's about discovering what you love and then enjoying it. Now, number 17 is this, enthusiasm. Oftentimes people will say, man, Justin, where in the world do you get your passion from? You know, whenever I first started out in business, guys, I wasn't an expert, but I knew what I was passionate about. I knew I was passionate about building companies. I knew I was passionate about helping others. I knew I was passionate about serving the people around me. And that in my energy somehow, I don't know how it works, because you see how I am when I come home from work. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I'm broken. But for some reason, whenever I'm in the zone, when I'm working in my business, the very thing that I love to do, I'm enthusiastic. Passion comes out of me. So I approach everything that God has given me to do with enthusiasm. And by doing so, here's what's going to happen. You are going to inspire all of those around you. If you're ever a business owner, you're going to inspire your employees. If you're a business owner, you're going to inspire your customers. If you're a salesperson one day, you're going to inspire your customers. As you do day in, day out at church, around the sports arena, whatever it is, you're going to inspire others and your journey is going to become pleasurable. It's not going to be a grind. There are going to be hard days. I'm not going to sugarcoat. There are going to be hard days. But even in those hard days, when you look back at it, it's like, yeah, okay, we got through that. No big deal. Let's roll. Because enthusiasm, your passion about what God has called you to do, once you discover that, it is a powerful position to be in. And number 18 is this. You're not perfect. You've got to constantly improve. I am not the same person I was a year ago. Definitely not the same person I was 20 years ago. Every single day when my feet hit the floor, my very first thing is, Lord, give me the strength to do everything I can do to serve you today. And every single day, whenever I go to bed, Lord, I know I messed up today. Forgive me. Help me do better tomorrow. Every single day, we're working toward improving our lives. You see, here's the scary but real secret. Success is not a destination. Even when I pull down the gravel road in this 1964 Shelby Cobra, which is going to happen before too long, even whenever this goes in the garage and we start driving it, that is not the destination. Success isn't a destination. Success is a journey. It's a journey of continuous growth. It's always being willing to improve yourself, because in improving yourself, you're improving the lives of others. It's constantly going out every day and serving the community, your family, your friends, your coworkers, your employees, your boss. That is success. So there it is. There's 18 particular secrets, if you will. Now look, guys, success is not about where you start. And you guys have an unbelievable opportunity. You're so far ahead of many others because of the sacrifices your dad and mom have made. I'm where I'm at today because of Pops and Nana's sacrifice when I was a kid. But even with that little bit of a head start, success is not about where you start. It's about the habits that you build along this journey toward your goal. It's about following these principles. It's about creating the pathway in your mind to have a little bit of faith that what God has placed in your heart to achieve, you can achieve. I know you have what it takes to be successful. No doubt. No doubt. And I'm not measuring success by the society standards. Don't even care what the world calls success. I'm measuring success by God has equipped you each for something only you can do. He's equipped you and he's designed you and he's made you in a way that exalts him. And if you pursue him, everything that your heart's desire will come true. That is success. I love you guys.